Ernest again here with you guys for another episode of the One Book a Week Challenge. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. So this book, called Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant, is what I would call a continuation of Rich Dad Poor Dad, the first book of the series. That's a book that we read last week. So it's almost like a transition into more details. It's a little bit more hands-on as well when it comes to how to manage your money and how to invest, where to put your money, and what things really mean. This book covers a topic which I think every person, every human being needs to be able to learn and understand. The cash flow quadrant goes like this. Let's say you draw a cross. On the top left corner, you have what's called you have the E quadrant, which is the employees. This is for everybody working at McDonald's, the people that are working for top law firms or financial firms on Wall Street. Bottom left corner, you have S. S stands for self-employed, and those could be doctors or lawyers, people that open up their own practices instead of working for other people. By the way, a doctor could be an employee working for a hospital, or he can have his own medical practice and be a self-employed. On the top right, you have what's the I. In the I quadrant, you have investors, people that are buying stocks, bonds, people that invest in companies, venture capitalists. Those are all investors. And in the bottom right, you have business owners. Those, you have to be careful not to mix business owners with self-employed people. Self-employed people work and work and work, and they keep trading their time for money. Business owners have employees do the work. And here's how to differentiate them, because I think that's the most crucial subject in the book, which is the cash flow quadrant. It teaches you how to get from the left side to the right side, from the employee side or the self-employed side, to either becoming an investor or a business owner. So as an employee, here's what happens. You work for a company, a corporation, and they pay you a salary. A lot of your money, your income, is taxed by the government, Social Security, Medicare, and a whole bunch of stuff at the state and at the federal level. You trade your time in exchange for money. If you don't work, you don't get paid, even though you might have paid vacations, but you're limited to what you can do. Now, a self-employed, which could be a doctor, for instance, or a lawyer, although makes a lot more money, tends to make a lot more money, usually. What happens with someone who is self-employed is that they have to work. There's no way for them to have paid vacation. They can't take sick days, because if they do, their practice suffers. That's why people that are self-employed, what they do, if they go on vacation, they close down their office, because it revolves around them. And those people, although they make more money, are still trading time for money. So they're giving their time in exchange for money, obviously at a higher rate, and they get taxed very, very heavily. Those people, the IRS, I guess, love these people because they get a lot of money out of them. So that's the S, or self-employed. Now, if you move on to the top right corner, where we have the investors, or the I quadrant, that is one of the ideal quadrants to be in, because investors use their money, they invest in the stock market or whatever, and they have that money working for them to bring them profits. And although there are capital gains and all of that stuff, what investors have the ability to do is to invest in such a way that they could either defer their tax contributions, or they can avoid them altogether through loopholes that are in the tax system. So investors, keep in mind, have their money work for them. And that's the difference between an investor and a business owner. A business owner, whether it's a full 100% business owner, or part owner in a company, or owner of a company and then, part owner in a company, or someone that starts a network marketing venture, that joins a network marketing company, where you have a small percentage of the company, where they do a little bit of the work, but they own part of it, or whether it's a stock, someone that owns shares in a company, which is in a sense an investor, but a business owner, if I can backtrack a little bit, is someone that has a business but doesn't have to be there. Take the Waltons, okay, with Walmart. They own the corporation, but they don't go to work every day. It doesn't depend on them. They could be on a beach in Hawaii while Walmart is making millions of dollars every single day. And that's the difference. So in this book, Robert Kiyosaki teaches us how to go from the employee or self-employed side to the investor or business owner side. And it can be a very gradual process where you take a percentage of your income and then you invest it every week, or you save it until you reach a certain amount of money, and then you take that money and invest it in the stock market, in bonds, not in mutual funds, obviously, because that's a distinction that he makes here. But you invest in companies that are in return, like bringing you a return. And of course, you can start your own ventures. It takes a lot of work, perhaps, or you join something that's already established, and then you have employees working for you, where you become a business owner. So it's important for us to know the difference in these things and be able to actually apply the tactics and the techniques that are going to help us switch from one side to the next. Because as a business owner, you have so many benefits. You have a car, you can actually, or a home. It could be purchased by the business or rented by the business, and it becomes a business expense. You end up having to pay a much lower rate when it comes to your income tax. So that's a very interesting book. I think if you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and even if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I highly recommend it. So here's what I'll do. Once this video reaches 100 likes, one of you guys out there is going to be able to get a free copy of this book, free shipping, absolutely at no cost to you, because this book will make a big difference in the way you perceive your finances and the things that you do with your money. All right, so you guys join the challenge. Don't forget #OneBookAWeekChallenge. Join the challenge. Tell me what you guys are reading. Leave your comments and questions in the section below, and of course, like this video. Don't forget to share it, because once we reach 100 likes, one person will get a copy of this book. All right, so I'll see you guys next Sunday for another episode of the One Book a Week Challenge.